We're into the penultimate turn now of crossing the line, and things are drawing to a close quite quickly. The Americans have really got to push hard this turn. They really need to get across the map now, claim here, and claim there and there, in order to get the maximum victory points for their plan, which, although Aachen, just there, is the most valuable location by far, we do need to get some of these other locations, because we cannot guarantee how many victory points we're going to get through German strength point losses. The Americans have got to push hard. They do have full activations, formation activations for 3 of their bigger divisions: 2nd Armoured, 3rd Armoured and the 30th Infantry. So we've got the 3rd, the 2nd and the 30th Infantry. I've made use this time of the ability to assign infantry units to those armoured divisions, just here and also here, in order to provide the much needed support in the urban and wooded terrain that the armoured divisions need. So the Americans, though, will not get any more reinforcements now for the rest of the game, so they have what they have, and they've got to push hard to try and get to the end of the game. The Germans, for their part, though, have had a bit of a stroke of luck. The interdiction level has gone down. It's now sitting at interdiction level of 1, which means they do have fractionally more activations than they had last turn. Most units are on 2, level of 2, and a couple of others are up around 5 and 6. So that is better than last time, when most of their divisions had a formation activation level of 1, which is pretty shocking, really. But perhaps most importantly of all, we do have a fresh Panzer unit right here in the bottom corner of the screen there, in the form of the 3rd Panzers, and they are hopefully going to push up, stop the 29th there from claiming those victory point hexes on the Ruhr region, and then also provide some support here as needed along this very open area, should the defences in this kind of region here fail. Going to be an interesting turn. We're now about 2/3 of the way through the turn. The centre of the picture there, around about here, has been the source of some really heavy fighting. The 2nd Armoured, which are these light green ones, and the 30th Infantry for the Americans, have really pushed hard and more or less exhausted themselves, coming down, trying to break through this small line of 116th Panzers, which are these kind of yellow coloured counters under the defences there. They've had a difficult time of it. The 116th have really held their ground, counter-attacking here to the point where they've nearly pushed them out of the victory hexes in and around Elsdorf, and really holding against some quite sizable American combined infantry and armoured formations there. So it's been really intense fighting around those two areas. The fresh German units are containing the American 29th Infantry around here to prevent them from acquiring the victory point hexes, which is kind of off to the bottom corner of the map there, just off screen. But the wisdom of that is now proving to be another reason why these videos are not a strategy guide, because really they're a bit stuck now, because the Americans could run and grab those victory hexes if the Germans do stop containing them, but equally if they don't contain them, they're not able to effectively support through the middle here as the Americans start pushing through that more open ground, which I imagine will happen fairly soon. We think we've reached that tipping point now between the two sides, particularly along here. Yeah, so not a strategy guide, as I said. I mean, the Americans' wisdom in bringing their division all the way down here is questionable at best, because they are also stuck now. So it's an interesting lesson to be learned on my part, I think, that one. But what we have now is the continuation of the fighting along here. The 1st Infantry still have a few activations left, and we have taken Aachen here, and we are about to come and encircle, create a pocket of infantry around this fairly solid defence there. The darker blue counters are the 3rd Armoured and the 9th Infantry, and these armoured divisions here have their full activations remaining, and so now we're going to push up this way, and the German are going to try and prevent that through tactical running away and use of terrain, in the hope that they can't ever really feel the full brunt of the German attack. Approaching the end of the turn soon, so I'll come back and summarise how that went. We've reached the end of the turn now, and there's a real sense that the walls are closing in around the German side. The Panzer units here have had to withdraw from those victory point X's just there and there, and the 2nd Armoured and 30th Infantry are now starting to pour into the gap that's been created, and we have almost a little pocket forming here around what remains of the 49th German Division and the independent units that are attached to them. Generally speaking, we've held the line pretty well in terms of the German forces there. The 1st and 30th American divisions haven't broken through quite as expected, but time is running out now. Definitely time is running out. We had an interesting situation here where the 3rd Panzers on the German side had to make a choice between coming across to Eichweiler here in order to support the remains of the 246th, or stay here and keep those 29th Infantry in position. Chose to stay here because of those victory hexes down the bottom there. Whether that was a good decision or not, I don't know, because there was an almost audacious move down at the bottom, just around here, where the 9th Infantry were able to slip past the edge of the German defensive lines. The 3rd Armoured broke through somewhat and allowed the 9th Infantry to come through, and 1 infantry division managed to get to this hex here, which is a victory point hex, but disrupted 3 of the 4 HQ units that were positioned there. Whether that was a sensible thing to do, I don't know, because that division was very quickly eliminated by the Germans, but it did disrupt 3 of those infantry divisions. Sorry, those German HQ divisions. It was this one, and actually it was that one there. So the Germans went from quite a good position, plenty left in reserve, to quite an unfortunate position in which they really did struggle. This is the penultimate turn. Moving now into the final turn, there's no more reinforcements. Really will be a fight to use the activations each side has in the best way possible going on from here. Looking forward to turn 8. I hope you're looking forward to, if you've been following along with me. Please like, subscribe, all that sort of thing, and I will see you next time.